What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to LMS Sports Network, and today we are breaking down everything from WWE Backlash 2026. And overall, I thought it was a really fun show. It definitely felt like more like a bridge show. It didn't really end any feuds. There was like one or two that I felt like it ended, but there's still a lot of fun moments that I want to go over and worth talking about. There were some emotional moments, crazy reversals, possible heel turns, and honestly, one of the best Roman matches in a while. So let's get into it. The first thing I want to go over is the John Cena Classic. One of the coolest ideas from the show might have been this John Cena Classic. The concept of having younger stars and NXT talent compete through the night and then having fan votes to crown the new John Cena Classic Championship is actually really interesting. And I kind of want to see how it plays out first before I give my honest reaction. But just the overall concept sounds kind of cool. It gives new wrestlers exposure while also making fans feel more involved in the outcome. WWE has been trying different concepts lately, and this one actually feels fresh. I'm really interested to see how this evolves because if they do it yearly, it could become a huge platform for future stars. Now, the first match I want to go over is Io Sky versus Asuka. And this was exactly what you'd expect out of these two. Great wrestling, smooth chemistry, hard-hitting spots, and just two elite performers going at it. But honestly, the biggest moment came after the match. After Io Sky picked up the win, the two shared a moment in the ring, and Asuka was emotional, even tearing up a bit. It really felt like a respect moment between two stars who have helped define women's wrestling in WWE as of late. And to me, this also felt like the end of the feud. Unlike the other matches on the card, this one actually had closure. And then the Danhausen match, it was really fun. It really wasn't what I was expecting because of the mystery partner. I was expecting it to be kind of like a goofy, entertaining wrestling match, but I was expecting an actual wrestler or someone that's been or I guess somebody that's been in the ring prior in WWE. I was expecting it to be like CM Punk, Royce Keys, or if they went the celebrity route, Jelly Roll. But then at the start of the match, they had the cloning machine and the Minihausen popped out of the box. And actually, it was pretty cool. There was a really well-received pop from the Minihausen. He wrestled great. But what surprised me was once the comedy stuff settled down, the match itself was actually really solid. It balanced entertainment and wrestling really well, which is hard to do sometimes. It wasn't trying to be match of the year. It was just a really enjoyable watch, and the crowd was into it the whole time. Now, the next match I want to go over is Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins. It might have been match of the night from an in-ring standpoint. This match had nonstop action, and once it got going, it felt impossible to look away. The final sequence especially was crazy because they just kept countering and reversing each other's finishers over and over again into their own finisher. It was just crazy. The spear into the pedigree spot. I mean, we've seen it before, but it's just so cool every time. And then Seth Rollins went to go hit the curb stomp from the top rope, and Braun Breaker was able to hit the spear. But it's just such cool spots. Every time you thought the match was ending, somebody escaped. And that's what made Braun look like such a big deal here. Seth is one of the best in the world at making younger stars feel legit, and Braun looked like he belonged in that top tier tonight. So expect Braun Breaker to break out into that main event scene soon. Next match, Trick Williams versus Sami Zayn. This match was really interesting because I think this officially pushed Sami fully into the heel territory. Throughout the match, Sami was using heel tactics nonstop, using the kendo stick, taking shortcuts, and constantly taking advantage whenever the referee wasn't looking. And the fans clearly noticed because the boos started getting louder as the match went on. And there was a lot of Sami sucks chants and stuff like that. What makes this version of Sami interesting is that he's not acting like a typical coward heel. He still thinks he's justified, which honestly makes the character even more interesting and curious. And I'm curious where this takes him after the feud with Trick Williams. And now the main event, Jacob Fatu versus Roman Reigns. This match did exactly what it needed to do for Jacob. There were multiple moments during the match where I genuinely didn't know who was winning. They had a few really believable near falls, and the crowd completely bought into it. But the biggest takeaway is how strong Jacob looked. WWE clearly sees him as a future world champion, and after this match, I'm honestly very confident that he's taking the title off of Roman sooner rather than later. Roman still felt dominant, but Jacob come out of this looking like an absolute monster, especially with that Tongan death grip, and he just looks like a legitimate threat to the entire bloodline and WWE roster. Overall, I thought Backlash was a good show. Not necessarily a massive game-changing premium live event, but it did a really good job progressing the storylines and setting up what's next. Most of these feuds definitely feel like they're continuing or evolving into something bigger, especially Braun and Seth, Sami and Trick, and Roman versus Jacob. The only feud that really felt finished was Io Sky and Asuka. But yeah, let me know your favorite match from Backlash and what storyline you're most excited for going forward. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys in the next episode.